Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Motivation. And yes, it's a bank holiday Monday, so I sincerely hope you're actually not watching this at all, and instead you're out doing something more interesting. So what can I tell you about what's happening this week? I don't have my little normal, lovely update picture to show you because my computer hung up just before I came online. But just to let you know, what have we got this week? We've got a blog today, which is, what's the blog today? Wait a minute. What's the blog today? Hang on a minute. It's about all the best alcohol-free subscription boxes that you can get. There's a lot of them out there and they're beginning to grow, so we thought we'd make that information available for you, so have a little look. Then on Wednesday, as normal, we have our breathing space for anyone who's on our courses with Dru. Dru's just done a really successful course this weekend for anyone who's changing their drinking. We did an intensive on Saturday. It went really well, so I'm assuming there's lots of new members who did that, who were breathing space on Wednesday. There is also a special blog. That's it. That's the bit that I had to remember. There's a special blog this Tuesday. We're kicking off our Pride season with a collaboration with Binary, Botanical and Queers Without Beers, which is a group that we run as our piece of social impact for good. Wait a minute, we are a social impact organisation anyway, but we also run Queers Without Beers, which I guess is our community project. We have produced a cocktail box with lots of amazing cocktails inspired by different queer heroes. So have a look out for that. That comes on Tuesday. On Friday, our podcast is with Burnt Chef, an amazing guy who has been looking at the challenges of working in the hospitality industry while changing your drinking. And then all the way through May, as part of our Mindful May programme at 3 p.m. on Friday, Dru will be doing a live wine o'clock meditation live on the groups and on YouTube, etc., in order to help you get into gear and in the right mindset for the weekend. So that's a little rundown of everything in Club Soda this week. As normal, the free course is going. We've got a separate group going for everyone doing that at the moment. And they're all busy talking about how they're going to have a good May. So do join in if you can. So what was I going to talk to you about today in the motivation? I was going to have a little chat about myths that we tell ourselves about drinking. And I think one of the biggest things for me, I realized when I gave up, was that I had sort of inhaled and assimilated a whole series of cultural myths about drinking that just were not true, but I used them to justify my drinking. And I thought this was a good topic for today because, of course, it's a bank holiday. And my automatic go-to would be, oh, well, it's a bank holiday. I deserve a drink. Now, I deserve a drink is probably one of the biggest myths of all. And I've actually heard and seen on Facebook, on some other groups I'm in, people using that phrase a lot. I have to really stop myself intervening and say, why do you deserve to do, if you've done something, if you've had a hard day, if you've done something well, if you have got a day off, why is the thing that you deserve the most something that's going to do you so much harm? It took a while for me to flip from thinking that I was missing a special treat to realizing that alcohol was actually doing me harm. And so every time I said I deserved a drink, what I was doing was saying, well, I deserve to hurt myself a little bit more than I was already doing. I deserve to give myself a little bit more harm. I deserve to, put something in my body that has absolutely no positive benefit whatsoever. Whereas actually, if you've got an impromptu day off because of a bank holiday, or if you've had a stressful day, or if you've done something really well, you deserve to do something that's nice for you, that nourishes you, that does something good for you, right? It's amazing. And so if you begin to think through how we use that very simple but very ubiquitous phrase to justify basically overindulging, and also because it's so socially acceptable, it puts a layer of acceptability on some drinking that we're already worried about. If we really think about it, we need to begin to take alcohol away from our reward structure and seeing it as a reward, and instead start to think about what we're going to put in place instead. And don't get me wrong, I know this is really hard, but the first thing that you can do is recognize that what that statement's really meaning, and what it means to you. Is it really a reward, or are you using it to escape? Are you using it as an excuse? Are you using it as a justification? Is it really doing you good? Is it actually doing you more harm? What does this extra drink on top of all the other drinks that you've had that you're not happy about having doing for you? So the first thing to do is to recognize that statement for what it is, which is a load of absolute bullshit, and begin to go, no, I need to not just follow the crowd. I need to not just see this as a perceived wisdom or a received wisdom. I shouldn't see this as something that is true. It is actually a cultural myth that has been created to allow us all to justify overindulging on alcohol. Then that to me is one of the most important things. You can really begin to call out the bullshit once you've given up drinking, right? So that is one of my most bullshit phrases. I deserve a drink. But that's only part of the story, right? Because it really is hardwired, baked into our social conscience. And if you've been drinking like I had done for 25 years, that phrase is hard but baked into your psychology. And it's a really hard one to break, that the idea that alcohol is a reward for something hard, is a reward for stress, is a reward for a good day, is a reward to celebrate, and so on. So recognize the bullshit phrase, recognize that it's a myth, recognize that actually there's not really any truth in it, and instead begin to think that what it is you do deserve if you want to feel happier, if you're a bit sad, and if you're a bit stressed. And what you need to do is to begin to build a toolkit of things that you do deserve on those occasions. And of course, if you think about it, being happy is not the same as being sad. It's not the same as being stressed. So why at the moment socially we have one substance that we think will solve or deal with all of those situations is also a load of rubbish, right? You know, a doctor doesn't go, aha, excellent, you're not well, let's get the leeches out. Oh yes, cancer, let's get the leeches out. A sore ankle, let's get the leeches out. They don't do that, right? There isn't a cure-all for everything. Everything needs its own solution. So begin to make yourself a toolkit. So, you know, what do you deserve when you're happy? Well, to be happier, I often go for something a bit caffeinated because it gives me a little bit of a buzz. I maybe even get one of my specialties out of the cupboard. If I really want to be really awake, I'll even go for a mate, which isn't even a proper tea. And if you know me, I'm a big tea snob. So the fact that I go for something that isn't even really a tea to give me a caffeine jolt is really interesting. Oh, just juggling my computer there. I've also got some alcohol-free drinks that I actually drink very rarely, but when I do, I feel it's in order to enhance my mood. I've got particular drinks that make me really happy. A kombucha, there's a few beers, there's a few things like 3 spirits which really lift my mood. So I use some of those. You know, they're all ways that I use to lift my mood. And I have different things for when I'm stressed. I do medicate with food when I'm stressed, but you know what? At the end of the day, that's not going to stop me from getting up and running the next day. Eating a almond croissant, which I just did because it's bank holiday, I justified it that way. Oh man, isn't going to mean that I'm really horrible to my partner. I'm not going to be rude. I'm not going to waste the whole of the rest of the day. I still have an opportunity to eat some healthy meals afterwards. I can tell you that, you know, if you drink, there is no prospect of you eating a healthy meal afterwards or doing something else productive with your day. So there we are. So you may want to have some food items, some drink items in place. If you're feeling really stressed, you may want to, you know, begin a short but meaningful course of meditation or mindfulness, or look at other things that help reduce stress, like reading a chapter of a book or going for a run, all of those sorts of things, and start to see them as rewards, because they're all nourishing. They all over time will make you more resilient, will make you happier. Alcohol over time, even if you use it as a stimulant for happiness, will reduce your happiness, will reduce your overall well-being, will affect basically all of the hardwiring in your brain. How alcohol affects you is cumulative. We often focus on the hangovers, but actually over time, alcohol has a massive cumulative effect on your brain and your body, and it gets harder and harder to deal with. So, you know, lots of different things by doing them over time, from exercise to eating well, to reading books, to listening to great music, to talking to friends, all over time build together to make you more resilient. And therefore, they are the things that you deserve to do if you want to be happier, if you want to deal with your tiredness, or if you want to deal with stress, or if you want to feel a little bit sad. They are all great things to do. So a good bank holiday exercise will be to banish the myth that you deserve a drink from your subconscious, recognize it for the bullshit that it is, and then start to build some new rewards in place for yourself. Could be, you know, browsing online, booking things to do when they reopen in the future. I love that. I love future planning. You could begin to look at your holidays. You could go through your dress book and look at all the people you've not spoken to for nearly a year and make, you know, and decide that you're going to call them when you feel like a drink or when you feel like you deserve something that's good for you. You know, start to make that list. It's very personal, but it's actually really important. And you will find that not only at that point when you think you deserve a drink, will you have something to fall back onto, that you know that you deserve more, but though that list will actually help you in all the times you're feeling some form of discomfort around not drinking when you want a drink. You can pull on something from that list. So I might touch on some other myths that we have around drinking, because there are lots of them. I think I did a webinar on it like several years ago, and there were tons and tons, and I had to split it into 2 webinars. So so definitely have a little think about that. Get in touch. Tell me what the things are that you're putting in place that you do deserve whenever you think it is that you want a drink. Do tell me any other bullshit myths that you realise are now rubbish as you change your drinking. And have a really good rest of your bank holiday. Please do join us for all the things that we're doing this week. We have nothing more than to see you, support you in your journey to change your drinking, and so on. So, so yeah, keep in touch. Connect with us on Facebook, Slack, Instagram, everywhere. And I'll speak to you soon. Bye.